Building a good physique can be boiled down to two things. One is minimizing body fat, and the second is building lean mass. Today I want to teach you some of the science behind maximizing lean mass during like your lifter journey so that you can build it faster, better, and also kind of like avoid body fat, right? Because of course, the way you exercise and your diet can either go towards fat or lean mass. And so what we want to do as good lifters is do our due diligence and force it to go to lean mass. So I'm going to teach you about that today. Number one, I'm just going to get right into it, is hypertrophy. So hypertrophy occurs when resistance training, and it creates basically microscopic tears in the muscle that triggers protein synthesis so it can repair the muscle and make it stronger, right? Obviously. There are two mechanisms that drive this. Number one is mechanical tension. Basically, heavy lifting generates force that stimulates muscle adaptation. And the second is metabolic stress. Fatigue from high rep sets increases cellular byproducts like lactate, which is also called lactic acid, produced when your body breaks down carbs for energy, especially under conditions where oxygen is limited. And byproducts like that are released promote growth. So those are basically the two mechanisms that drive hypertrophy. Now let's go over some tactics to increase lean mass gain. First, we're going to go over training and exercise, and then we're going to go over some changes you can make to your diet. The number one thing you have to understand about training is that it increases insulin sensitivity, directing glucose to your muscles instead of fat. So basically, you can kill two birds with one stone here. Lower fat, that's the point I'm trying to get across in this video. Lower fat and build lean muscle, because the bodily processes have to basically decide, does it go to fat or does it go to muscles, right? So strength training does that. It increases insulin sensitivity. You want to use compound exercises whenever possible. These demand multiple muscles at once, basically making it more efficient. It's like, when you put it like that, working isolation exercises can feel kind of stupid, unless they're very specific isolation exercises, when you could be doing compound exercises and working multiple muscles at once. So you want to focus on compound exercises such as back squats, pull-ups, free weight, a lot of free weight stuff, overhead presses, things like that. And here's what's interesting. You want to train till muscular failure every single time. That is 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps per exercise. Fail every time. Failure is where, according to some lifters, most of the gains are made. Isn't it interesting? Like the last rep that you push yourself on, that's where most of the gains are made. That's what makes the difference. Isn't that interesting? So perhaps you want to level up from just like doing, I'm going to do 10 reps on this set, to doing like, okay, I'm just going to go 10 plus, so 10 until failure, right? I've been considering doing this a lot myself. I'm actually going through a protocol right now where it demands that I do failure every single set. So, and like you can feel it when you go till failure every single time. So I want you to seriously consider like leveling up your exercise game, your weightlifting game, and maybe just trying to go till failure every single time. I promise you it's worth it. And then of course you want to progressive overload every single chance you get. Basically, force your muscles to get stronger, right? Your muscles are meant to adapt, so they're going to adapt to whatever like environment or situation you put them in. So if you force them to push more weight, your body's going to be like, okay, this guy pushes really hard weight, harder than we're comfortable with, so we're going to have to increase the strength of his muscles. I want you to actually download an app where you can track all of your workouts and the sets and reps and weight that you do during each workout. So what I use is a free app called Strong. It's just called Strong. You can search it on the App Store, and I think it's on Android too. Download it, and you can just basically like track all of your workouts, and it'll show you anytime you add a new workout, you can see it's the old value, like what you hit in the past, so you know exactly how to progressive overload. As an actionable step, go download that. If you have a different app that you like already pay for or something like that, that can track it, then just do that. But you need to have some sort of app that tracks your stuff. Hell, just like bring a notebook into the gym with you and like write down your stuff. Anything to where you know exactly what you've done in the past. And don't try to like just use your brain, because that's deceptive. For some reason, I can't explain why, when you track stuff down in this manner, you're just more prone to progressive overload. I don't know why, but it's just the case. So as an actionable step, do that. By the way, I explain all of this in my full program. That's the top link in the description. If you're interested in building an aesthetic physique and you're serious about it and you're interested in investing in yourself, you'll benefit a lot just from clicking that out and going and watching the video and reading what it's about and seeing if it's for you. It includes all of my knowledge to date, like the years and years of lifting knowledge that I have, and it has got so much information that I can't possibly put into any one of these videos. You'll benefit a lot from that. So, I mean, the least you can do for yourself is just click it and then go check it out. And then if it doesn't seem like it's for you today, you can just come back here and watch the rest of this video. Go to that right now. That's another actionable step. Okay, so now let's talk about diet. What you actually want to be in here is a slight surplus, unless of course you're massively overweight, and then you can go on like a cut, like a reduction of calories, right? Calorie deficit. But importantly, on the same note as what I said earlier about tracking, I want you to download something called MyFitnessPal. If you haven't already, just open up the app store on your phone and then search up MyFitnessPal. For free, you can track all of your meals, all of your calories. It's very simple and intuitive to use. It's fantastic. I use it for every single meal. And on the same note as tracking your exercise from earlier, you will follow your diet plan better and achieve your goals faster if you track. And if you don't track, like, I can almost guarantee that you're gonna fail. You need to do that as another actionable step. Download MyFitnessPal. It's completely free, so there's literally no downside for you. And I'm not like sponsored by the app or anything. I just use it. And then you can just punch in the numbers. You can basically search up all the foods that you eat on an average day and input them as you go through and you finish each meal during the day. You need to be tracking that, so you know exactly where you are and what you need to change. Again, and you can put in your own goals, so it'll tell you like how much you should surplus and how many proteins, carbs, and fats you should hit per day in order to move closer to your goal. So importantly, do that. I would prefer if you just paused the video right now and did that if you're actually serious about building lean mass. It's very important. I think the main rule here is you want to have a high protein intake from about 1.2 to 1.6 grams per pound of body weight daily. This maximizes muscle protein synthesis and reduces fat storage by increasing something called thermogenesis. Thermogenesis is the process where the body produces heat. So when you eat protein, when you have a high protein diet, protein actually requires like 20 to 30% of the calories consumed of the protein to be burned during digestion. So you're actually like cutting into those calories already just from digesting it. Whereas like for carbs, it's about, I think, like 5 to 10%. For fats, it's like 0 to 3% or something like that. So that's why a high protein diet is so good, right? And then obviously that supports protein synthesis into the muscles because you have more proteins to do the muscle building, right? Basically, the rule here is eat a muscle to grow a muscle. You want to get good sleep, of course. This is a basic rule. Get good sleep. Make sure you're not getting like 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep. 6 hours is okay, but 8 hours is optimal. I'm so serious. Your quality of life all around will actually improve if you get a good night's sleep. So there's like tons of benefit to good sleep. Don't skip out on sleep. And then of course allow 48 hours between training the same muscle group. So if you're doing full body, make sure you have 2 days of rest in between. And if you're doing like a push-pull leg, of course, that'll be the push muscles one day, and then you got 2 days of rest before working that same muscle group. So just ensure you're doing that. If you're following a normal split, then you should already be doing that, but it's just a nice rule of thumb. Now here's where the dieting stuff gets interesting, okay? I want you to actually focus on two very specific types of proteins and carbs. So first of all, proteins, we want to target leucine-rich proteins. Leucine is an essential BCAA branched chain amino acid that signals for protein synthesis, okay? So it's very important for protein synthesis and muscle growth, right? So what we want to do is target proteins that have a really high leucine amount, right? Concentration. Basically, the list of leucine-rich proteins is long, but you want to focus on animal-based proteins: eggs, fish, red meat, chicken, turkey, stuff like that. But here's what's interesting. The protein with the highest leucine amount is actually whey protein, okay? So you will benefit a lot from including whey protein in shakes or smoothies or whatever throughout your diet. Like, really focus on whey protein. Get the other stuff too, because stuff like eggs are really good for you. Stuff like meat is really good for you. So you do want to include that. Not just get your protein from whey, but whey protein is like a super powerful thing to add to your diet. So include that. And now in terms of carbs, what you want is you want to focus on complex, fiber-rich, and nutrient-dense carbs. So that's going to be oats, brown rice, lentils, black beans, other legumes, starchy vegetables like sweet potatoes, and dairy. Quinoa, spelled Quinoa, gets special attention here because it's both a complete protein and a complex carb. So it's like two birds with one stone, right? So it's especially good for building muscle. You want to avoid refined sugars like white bread, pastries, sugary cereals, candy, fruit juice, and all processed sugars. This just spikes your blood sugar and does you no good. This is why I hate dirty bulking so much, okay? The carbs that you eat on a clean bulk diet, the complex carbs, the sweet potatoes, the black beans, the stuff like this, will contribute to lean mass far more than the refined carbs, the processed stuff, the white bread, the pastries, etc. Okay? And the reason is, of course, because those things, because the refined carbs have a smaller sugar molecule, and they get processed faster, they spike your blood sugar, and then you crash. But they don't really lead to sustained energy, whereas the longer sugar molecules in the complex carbohydrates, they're harder to process. They take a bit longer, so it leads to sustained energy, right? So while if you're dirty bulking right now, you might think, okay, I'm gonna eat a ton of bread, I'm gonna eat a ton of junk food, and I'm gonna gain a bunch of weight, right? I'm gonna gain so much weight, this dirty bulk is gonna get me huge. What you don't understand is you're not gaining the right type of weight. Those carbs are more likely to just go into fat. They're not building towards that lean muscle as effectively. This is why I love clean bulking so much. And I actually think it's way better than dirty bulking, and like way easier as well. Honest to God. And of course, like, I love cooking. I love buying the ingredients and like making my own meals and then making them taste good with like different spices and stuff like that. So for me, like, it's more of a challenge to try and shove food down my mouth and then like hope I'm getting enough carbs in, enough calories in, stuff like that. So that is exactly what you want to avoid, is the refined carbs, the dirty bulk food, because it's not going to help you as much. It's not really going to lead to the glycogen storage in your muscles as much as the complex carbs are. So yeah, I thought you'd find that interesting. I don't really hear this type of, I hear protein, right? But I don't really hear this type of dietary advice talked about a lot online in the fitness space. So I thought you'd find that really interesting. If you got any value from this video, in both the exercise section or the diet section, there's something you can do which is a win-win for both of us, which is to scroll down and click the subscribe button. I win because I get a new subscriber, and you win because anytime I have a new insight, I try something new, I learn something new, then I can make a video and directly give you value. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.